Hi there, I'm Margie Bowen, and my business and my website is MTBskillsTraining.com. And I am a licensed USA cycling coach with a specialty and multiple certifications in mountain bike instruction. Through my skills clinics and private coaching, I teach people the skills they need in order to perform the maneuvers that make mountain biking so much fun. And one of my goals for people that I work with is to help them increase the fun factor while at the same time decreasing the crash factor, right? So we are in full swing of summer here in Connecticut. And so we're experiencing humidity and temperatures in the 80s and 90s. So it only seems appropriate that we have a little conversation about dehydration. Your body cannot adapt to being dehydrated, and like it can with so many other different types of stressors that we place upon it. Dehydration is the rate of, or the loss of fluids, where the rate is more fluids lost than are being taken in. So your body cannot balance the amount of water that it wants in its body. And our bodies are made up of a big percentage of water. And when that gets even a percent or two low, we start feeling negative consequences. And I'm going to share with you a story from 2010 when I was doing a mountain bike race up in Henniker, New Hampshire at Pat's Peak. It was about noon, and the race start line was moved into the shade where it was only 101 degrees, yet of course still very humid. We were racing at 1 p.m. This was Cat 1 expert race. Our laps had already been reduced from 4 to 3 because of the extreme conditions. And so here we go. We take off at 1 o'clock, and we're climbing in full sun at times up ski slopes because it's Pat's Peak Ski Resort. And my first 2 laps went pretty well. I felt like I had enough electrolytes and calories and water in my mix. And the third lap was a little bit different story. I was climbing in full sun, and I just couldn't get another pedal stroke. And so I tried to get my right leg over the bike, and that wasn't happening. So I leaned the bike way over, and then I could get my leg off over the bike. But as soon as both feet were on the ground again, my quads seized, and I couldn't move. I couldn't bend my knees. So it took a little while to be able to move again. And so I just tried walking it off, but I was doing this like stiff-legged Frankenstein kind of movement, trying to move. And finally I got back into the shade on the course, and things started to get a little bit better, and I was just drinking and drinking and drinking. And finally I was able to get back on the bike and complete the race. But I got to the top, and you know, you usually look forward to the downhill section, right? The rest of the way to the finish line. And my head just wasn't feeling right. My body felt awful. I knew I was really dehydrated. I couldn't focus on what I was doing. I ended up hitting a tree when my right shoulder slammed into a tree. And I just was doing the best I could just to get down off that mountain. And when I did have a good finish. I still made podium, but was it worth it? I don't know. I ended up in the first aid area at the ski resort. They fixed up my shoulder and started pumping fluids into me, as well as, you know, plenty of other people that came in the same situation. And I just told myself then, you know, this is not worth it. I just feel really awful. And what I just did to my body, it just wasn't worth it. It was just a race. In the grand scheme of things, it's just a race. I'm never going to do that again in 100 degrees. So anyway, what I would like to do here with you is share some signs and symptoms of dehydration so that you know what to look for if you are out in really hot or extreme conditions. So the first thing, and it seems kind of obvious, but if you are extra thirsty, know that that is a sign of your body initiating a thirst response to try to encourage you to drink more fluids. Okay, your body's pretty smart. It knows to do that. Second, if you're fatigued, sluggish, or feeling weak, also really important signs that you should probably either slow down, find some shade, get your fluids, maybe stop exercising altogether, get in the air conditioning. If you're lightheaded, dizzy, or faint, especially when you get up from sitting or lying down. Sometimes that happens to me anyway because I have low blood pressure, but when I'm dehydrated, it's even worse. And so that's a really good sign. And what happens is when you're dehydrated, your blood volume is lower because it doesn't have as much water in it. And your brain is not able to get enough blood in oxygen. And so that's why these symptoms occur. If your heart rate isn't normal, whether you use a heart rate monitor or not, you may be able to sense that your heart rate is not right. Or if you have palpitations, also very good sign that you may be dehydrated because your body has to work harder. Your heart has to work harder to pump that blood when the blood volume is lower. If you have muscle cramps, kind of like I did on that race, trying to even just get off my bike, good sign that your electrolytes are out of balance, especially sodium and potassium. I use, to this day, a Hammer Nutrition product called Enduro Lights, and they make a few different forms. You can get it in capsules, powder, and they also have these tablets called Fizz that you can put in a water bottle before or after exercise to help replenish your electrolytes. Again, your body is really smart, and if it's sensing that you're dehydrated, it's going to try to limit the amount of fluids that are excreted. So if you have really dark urine or you don't have the need to pee for quite a while, that's your body trying to hold on to fluids to prevent you from being dehydrated. Again, your body's really smart, but it cannot adapt to dehydration. So another sign to look for. If your mood is off or your concentration is impaired, another thing to look for. Now, if your mood is off all the time, well, that's probably another problem. But if you can't focus, like when I was in that race, I was doing the downhill and I just couldn't even focus. I hit the tree and all. I was doing the best I could just to finish that race. Take these things seriously because you could really get hurt out there. You're trying to have fun and you could end up badly. So look out for those symptoms and when you're exercising in heat and humidity, and hopefully those will help you. So this is Coach Margie Bowen with MTBskillstraining.com. I teach people the skills they need to perform the maneuvers that make mountain biking so exciting. And I want to help you increase your fun factor and decrease your crash factor. So Coach Margie Bowen here signing off. Until next time, happy trails!